Hello and welcome to episode 19 of Build a Nation with Vukovar in Croatia. We've just ended the 10th season. We've just picked up 2 trophies, which is starting to show a bit of consistency in the top division. So let's have a look at how the last season went and see what we have to do as we move forward. Welcome back straight into the end of season review, where we've picked up the league and cup double in what was a highly contested league, where we got pushed right to the end. It went down to the last game of the season, and you'll see in a minute how close it was. In terms of the transfers in, Semir Kakar, a lone right back from Bayern Munich, having a fantastic season, worth 43 to 55 million. I have tried to see if we can sign him for next season, keep him on a permanent, but we just can't play with that kind of budget for a right back. So the 21-year-old will remain on the shortlist as he goes back to Bayern Munich. 34 games, 4 goals, 7.23 average with an A+ rating. Signing of the season, Mohamed Sangante, A+, 6 million, 46 games, 6 goals, 3 assists, 7.19. I think he made it into team of the season as well. So a really good centre half. Played a lot of games. I think he's still got a little bit of development left in him. 31 caps for his country at 22 years old. So this is one we're going to look to hang on to for many, many years. Eldin Mukic, we signed from Dynamo for 4.3. More of a developmental option, the young Bosnian in that central midfield role. Gives us something a bit different than the usual playmakers we've got everywhere. So we've got a box-to-box midfielder to kind of slip in there. And he's going to go on from strength to strength. He's wanted by a number of clubs, so Newcastle, PSG, both the Milans, Juventus and Benfica, which shows you the type of talent he's got. So that's Mukic. Sergio Martinez, 19-year-old wonder kid we got from Sportivo Trinidense for 2.6 million, who scored 35 goals in 39 games, which is quite the phenomenon. We've been crying out for somebody to get us the goals. The young Paraguayans come in, and he's just been absolutely amazing. We were initially going to bring him in just for a kind of developmental piece. We did bring in, I can't remember his name, Kiss, I think it was, the Romanian striker. But he just came in and he scored goals from the word go, so he's played all season. Simeon Zahariev, an A, CSKA Moscow, Sofia, 3.3 million. Brought him in as a defensive player when Patel went. We let him go at the end of last season to try and play with the foreign nationals rule. More to that to come in the squad section. But 23-year-old Bulgarian, pretty solid. He's played pretty well all season, fairly consistent, rotational option. Jonathan Jose Bergart, again, he got a C+. Brought him in as developmental from Atletico Tucumán, 4.5 million. As competition for Moha, currently at 3-star, can gust up to 3.5-star. We'll see how that goes. He's not played as many games as he maybe wants. But I think Mohar's still been playing really well in that position, so it was difficult to fit him in, especially with the foreign nation rules. Mateus Kiss, again, we brought him in as a centre forward who was meant to be ready-made to lead the line this season. He didn't score in them early games. Martinez did. Martinez has gone in to have an absolutely fantastic season, so I think Kiss has a bit of interest from Levski, and we'll probably look to move on in the summer. That's the ins. In terms of the outs, Patel we already touched on. 10.75 million was too much to turn down, really. Andy was Brazilian, we had to get off the books. Simic, a left back who'd run out of potential. Baka, Maguire, Noguchi were 3 players we brought in on loan, loaned them out. Couldn't really deal with keeping them long term and rotating them through. Bit of a drain every time they came back off loan on the wage budget, and we're not in a position yet to be able to do that. So we've sold them on for little bits of profits here and there. And we'll just move on with that as we go forward. Neto, another Brazilian we let move on for foreign national rules. Zebic, I would have liked to have kept because he was a Croatian centre-half, but again, he was unhappy, so we let him go. Fernando Silva, he was just in for a season, we've let him go again, another foreign nation. Bradley De Jesus was on high wages, and we brought in another right back. So we had Simunovic, who was going to be at right back, and then we brought in a lone player as well. So he moved on, 2.7 million, good return. Ramon Ortiz, again, another left winger, didn't really do much for us in terms of developmental, so we moved him on, and Morris Basso as well. In terms of the loans out, a few players have gone out. They've not got as many games as I maybe think some of them should have. Javorcic getting a lot of games, as Svoboda and Subaric, but it starts to die off after that. Tim Broich is an interesting one. Brought him at the same time as Martinez. He actually won the Next Gen award, despite having a lesser amount of potential as it currently stands. He won the actual Next Gen award in total. So we'll bring him in next season. We might go to a 2 up top system, see if we can put Martinez and Croatian together. But that mean it'd be interesting to see how we work that in terms of the players we've got. In terms of the results, first in the league, 2 points clear. Last game of the season was a draw with Hajduk. If they'd have beat us, they'd have won the league. It was that close. I think really it's kind of the opposite to what we had last season. They just we had too many draws last season. They've just had a couple too many losses. Whereas them 2 losses, we got draws, puts us 2 points clear. And we've just pipped them, losing to Hajduk again, Lokomotiv, and then largely winning most of the games. A couple of draws here and there. I think early season we had a bit of bad form as we were in Europe for a long period, but as we pulled out of European competitions and got knocked out of that cup, we were able to field a fairly full strength team game in, game out, and that got us over the line in terms of the league. Champions League went quite far. Beat Rangers in the playoffs and Leipzig and Sturm Graz. That goes into the group stages where we got a win against Sparta Prague, Sport Club Rapid, and Ajax, surprisingly. Not doing particularly well against some of the other teams, which got us a tie against Atletico Madrid, who beat us 1-0 and 3-1 respectively. So that dumped us out at that stage of the competition. Croatian Cup, again, I think it's probably one of the easiest ways we've gone through, although I think we beat on penalties. But the other games we played fairly comfortable along the way, and a convincing, what was that, 5-2 on aggregate in the final. So nice to retain that trophy and move on. And then the Croatian Super Cup, which played at the start of the season, you would have seen the last episode, we got beat 2-1. Maybe we can give them a better game in the next season. Moves to win a 6-2 win over Virovitica, Hesimovic, Churchic and Kiss, and we're playing a rotated team in that kind of game. Match to remember, 3-0 win against Sparta Prague, Sangante, Mike Wazowski and Martinez were the goals in that one. And then in the Croatian Super Cup, goal of the season was Mike Wazowski scoring a low drive from the edge of the box. In terms of the finances, although it looks bad, we've got a couple of red ones in there. That prize money of 29.52 million is massive in developing the club moving forward. And in terms of the shirt sales, finally nice to see a striker in there in Martinez. Another player to look at really is Pereira, who we had a £44 million bid for at one stage of the season. We held on to him because I thought it was important to keep him for the league running. He's a player we might well cash in on in the summer, because when we get to the squads and the formation, you'll see what we have in terms of the foreign players. In terms of the accolades, Manager of the Year and a few Manager of the Months. In terms of the players, Gasparic, another wonder kid, Player of the Season, Signing of the Season, Sangante, top goal scorer. Competition award wise, Almeida was goalkeeper of the league for the season, Gasparic was the player of the league for the season, and Martinez top scorer. And we broke lots and lots of records. Most goals in a game were Martinez, goals in a league match. Most player of match awards in a season at Almeida. So again, really good solid season throughout the lot. And the timeline is longer this year as well, so a big deal. Antoine Tezier agrees to join Vukovar. You'll see him in the next episode. In terms of transfers, an exciting player coming on the left. Lost 6-0 to PSG. It was a bit of a hard one to take. It was in the Champions League. A late winner against Dynamo. Broik winning the next gen. There's 3 news stories on that. He wasn't the only next gen in there. I think Martinez and Mujkic in the middle as well were also in that list. Signing 2 high rollers as well. So Fabian Krivac is coming in. We've got him on a free transfer from a Premier League club as an advanced midfielder, and João Paulo, a Brazilian forward, which will make us 3 fantastic forwards as we move into next season. First league winners, few players of the seasons, and the cup win as well. So in terms of the timeline, absolutely magnificent. That takes us through where we are in terms of competitions. In terms of the finances, 39 million in the bank, transfer budget of 10.3 for next season. Vision wise, we're doing fantastic, although we weren't competitive in the Super Cup. I don't think there's anything we can cover. We can make a... Let's go for it. Let's try and do a couple requests to the facilities because we've got the money to do so. Hopefully they'll go through. Anything else in there? Nothing really, so we'll go on with that. In terms of transfers, 7 players already coming in for next season. 2 defenders, so we've got a centre half and a left wing back. We've got 4 midfielders coming in. 2 of them are left wingers, hence why we might let Pereira move on. 1 advanced midfielder, 1 solid midfielder, and then a striker as well. So we'll look at them more in depth in the next episode. In terms of the competition we've done, schedule we've done, training, staff's all pretty, I mean, it's one of the best in the league. I don't really do too much on that. I know some people say you should refresh them every year, but I'm quite happy to leave it on. If it's not broke, don't fix it type scenario. Although it'd be nice to have more scouts. Maybe that's something else we can ask the board for. In terms of the tactics, one slight change. We went to a box-to-box midfielder, try and put them all on support. So we've just got 3 attack, 3 support in the middle, 2 defenders on defend, and the fullbacks on support, which has been working quite well as we move forward. In terms of the squad, I've still got players away on loan in the under-19 squad, so probably worth looking at. There's a large selection of these players. If I sort it by age, probably only down to there though, so not as many as in previous years. We've tried to move them on, but they'll all be coming back into the first team scenario. We've got a good right winger in there, a good striker, left back, and maybe move some of the other ones on, but we're trying to get this squad down to a more manageable size. I don't think it's the right time to go for loan farm status yet. It's something we might look to in the future. Not too experienced in it, but I think I made a bit of a mess of it the first time round. I need to get better at who goes where and making sure that we don't get hit by a massive wage sting. In terms of the players who are wanted, there's quite a lot. Bakovic, Kiss, Klaric, Takic, Churchic, Mucic, Gasparic, Martinez, that we need to move on. Pereira is the interesting one. 44 million pound bid we had in from Saudis. However, he looks absolutely amazing, and he's still got another year of development to go. So I think we'll hold on to him for a little bit longer on that left-hand side, playing him in that kind of advanced role. I know he's better as a flat midfielder. Maybe we'll go to a 4-4-2, but we'll see as the summer develops. In terms of the players who had the best performances during the season, then, I mean, the appearance-wise, Almeida, the goalkeeper, yeah, I mean, he's phenomenal. 3.5 stars, can gust up to 4 now. Chilean international, 14 caps. 1 player of the season for goalkeeper. We'll keep him going forward. Unfortunately, that takes up one of the foreign national slots, which Sangante, another starter, takes out one of them slots. Moha, another one of the players, takes out Pereira, Martinez. I mean, that's 5. We're already partway down the team before you get Kamara, who's a huge prospect, only at 21 years old. He's got up to 5-star potential, so that's your 6 players gone already before we start looking at even Burkhardt that's in there, the new Brazilians that are coming in, substitute goalkeeper, etc. So it's really hard to manage that side of it. In terms of the goals, Martinez, top goal scorer, 35. Mike Wazowski, 19 in second place. Assists-wise, Pereira, hence why I was so keen to keep him despite a £44 million bid. He's just phenomenal on that left-hand side. And then in terms of the average rating, Yusu Kamara, 31 games in midfield. He's developed really well. There was lots of interest in him from PSG and Newcastle at one point. We've staved that off. We've kept him. I think he's actually going to get homegrown at club status shortly as well. So from a European and league rules perspective, it's going to get slightly easier keeping that squad size up. And that's where we are. So all told, fantastic season. Retained the cup, won the league, had a good progress in Europe. And on the European front and the coefficients, because that's the final bit to really finish on, we've had an absolutely amazing turn this time. So Nation Club coefficients, we were in 10th. We've had a 21.2 this season, which is better than the majority of clubs above us, even as high as 3rd. It's better than Italy's. Largely thanks to a couple clubs other than ourselves, which I'll go to in a minute. And I think us being competitive and improving week on or year out has made the other teams more competitive as well. I think Hajduk went 1 round further than us in the Champions League, got knocked out by Chelsea, but we'll have a quick look at that in a minute. What that means is we're probably going to jump up to 9th this season. Next season's going to be a bit of an iffy one because it's not going to make too much difference. We're going to slide off a 14.6. Portugal going to slide off a 14, so it's not really going to help us too much. We've got a 7.5, so in 2 years' time that 7.5 will drop off, put us in a better position, but we probably need to wait 4 years for this 8.3 to slide off the end before we can really start making big double-figure numbers on a consistent basis. In terms of the competitions, I think the big surprise one in here, like I said, we got quite far. Got to the last 32, I think it, or 16. Hajduk went 1 round further, but Rijeka in the Europa League, I think it was, Europa Conference League, They went reasonably far, got to the last 16 and got knocked out by Olympiacos. So that was Rijeka. Osijek, I think, were one of the other ones. They went reasonably far as well. Getting to the round of 16 and getting knocked out by Dynamo, which you can see what might be coming next. Dynamo themselves, who finished 4th this season, went all the way and won against Everton, my beloved Everton, in the final to pick up the Europa Conference League. So as a European force, Croatia have taken a massive step forward. I think the development of the other clubs isn't solely down to us, but I think it's made the league more competitive. They've had to bring in better players to stay more competitive, etc. So we'll see how the next season goes. Hopefully that gives you a good update on where we are. Progress is going good. 10 seasons in, and I've heard this can take many seasons, up till maybe 20. But we'll see how far we go before FM26 comes out and we find out what we're going to do in them saves. But we'll keep going. We'll keep seeing how we're getting on. And next time we'll take you through a transfer window where them 7 new players come in. Let's see if we can somehow strengthen our position and also fix that kind of foreign nationals so we only have 6 as a maximum. So until next time, enjoy football, enjoy Football Manager, enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll see you soon.